Tonight, I'm talking about a post I found in a Facebook group about the need for work campers to have liability insurance. And I'm just passing on information, and I'm not giving advice. Okay. I just thought it was really good and something to think about. This guy is sharing his opinion. He posted a question in one of the Facebook groups, and I want to address it. I want to address it in parts. I broke it down into parts, and I want to address each one. First, he said, I just want to voice a concern. It seems like campgrounds are asking for more and more hours for a full hookup site. Most now ask for 30 plus hours per week. And he said at 4 weeks, the average, it's right around $1,300 for a site, considered about $10 an hour. And, you know, depending on the minimum wage, it could be even more. I mean, if you put in 30 hours and it's a $15 minimum wage in whatever state that is, I mean, that's pretty expensive for a site. If the minimum wage, I believe this is a true statement. I have another live stream where we discussed this a while back, and I'll leave a link up above. And if you want to click on that, you can go over there and look at that. And we talk about whether or not jobs are transitioning into full-time, whether work camper jobs are transitioning into full-time jobs. So the next part, his comment goes on. Also, a big factor is campgrounds want to make you a 1099 contract employee. And that's the thing that I wanted to address because it caught me off guard. I've never been asked if I was a 1099 independent contractor. So I'm not quite sure if this is true, partially true, or just not true. All right. So I want to pick it apart a little bit. And some of the comments I'm going to bring up to make a point. And they were some really good comments. I think there were like 351 people who have commented about this subject matter. So his comments go on. That means you should carry a $1 million liability policy. And I did a little research. I'm not going to go into it a whole bunch, but I think a $1 million policy is somewhere between $500 and $700 a year. That's what it would cost you to be covered by that much. Camper Life wants to know why I got fired. It's good to see you, Mellow Nomadic Adventure. Got me all sidetracked. If not, you are 100% liable if you have or cause an accident at a campground. And he goes on to say, helping someone back in, they hit a light pole. You could be responsible. Power company can come after you and them. What if you hit a child? What if you fix an electrical meter and somebody gets electrocuted? And you could be, you could be sued. I don't know. You're 100% liable. Yep, 100% liable. This is the guy talking. You could be sued if you're involved. You could lose your camper, your home, your life savings for a campground who doesn't want to make you an employee. Now, I think that's a little over the top, my opinion. Someone's comment in the chat said, meant to be RVing. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Someone in the chat says, hang on. There's a huge difference between 100% liability and uninsured. Huge. Varies by whether you act intentionally, willfully, neglectfully, etc., or whether your act has nothing to do with the harm at all. So there's a lot of circumstances that go with liability. And I'm not going to talk about it because not only am I not a tax person, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not an insurance person. But I do know that there's a lot of circumstances that goes with that liability. Just because you trip over a banana doesn't mean that you should have saw it and tried to miss it or something. So lots of information there that's missing in this discussion. So I agree with the comment, but it does have many factors. Another comment from another person, and she is concerned because she's a new work camper. Oddly enough, I'm looking for a work camper job that pays me a little bit and gives me a site for free. I've got no problem working. I just don't know which direction to go because I'm very new to this. And any information you could give would be greatly appreciated. So like I said, there's a lot of information in this Facebook post. It's a very good read. And, there's a lot of arguments and, people are disagreeing, but if you can read through the information, there's a lot of good information. It gives you something to think about. Here are two good comments that sort of answer her concerns, and I thought those were pretty good. If you receive a W-2, you do not need liability insurance, and that's pretty much true. If a campground's giving you a W-2, the employment agency or whoever it is, they're going to require them to insure you. So that's not a big concern. While trade for work has always been a thing in the campground industry where you work and you don't get paid, it's a little different situation because you don't have a W-2. But this person says any court or government body would probably find that the work camper would actually be classified as an employee, not a contractor. Now, I don't know that to be 100% true. However, it's possibly true. We'll read about the rule in just a minute. So someone else's comment, quite lengthy, had pretty much the answer of what we were looking for. You should not receive a 1099 unless you're an independent contractor instead of an employee. That makes sense. Everybody knows that. An employee is told what hours they work, what days they work, what their job is, and how to do it using the equipment provided by the campground. That's the employee. An independent contractor accepts a job and they use their own equipment, keep their own hours, and no one tells them how to do the job, just what the outcome of the job is. That's the difference. And this is the guy telling us that in a comment. He also goes on to say, I find it shocking that work campers are being asked to be considered independent contractors. And I agree with that. Carry their own liability, pay their own employment tax, and given no protection or benefits. I'm not an attorney. This is the guy, not me, although I'm not an attorney. This is the guy talking. He says, I'm not an attorney, but the IRS is very clear about the differences between the two classifications. And that's true because a lot of people are trying to use independent contractor in lieu of employee to evade Medicare, Social Security, and all these other things. Not always, but sometimes. So the IRS says their general rule is that an individual, we'll call him a work camper, is an independent contractor if the payer, the campground, has the right to control or direct only the result of the work. So only the result, not what and not how. That would make them an independent contractor. So if you want to Google it, if you're interested, I Googled IRS independent contractor versus employee, and you'll get a whole bunch of people telling you all about it and stuff like that. You'll even get the IRS website, and you can look up. I'm just trying to provide some information so that you guys can, make a decision as to what you believe is true and not true. Conclusion. I searched 357 job ads from WorkCamper News and WorkCamper Jobs because I like those two websites. I use them a lot. I like the way the jobs are posted. I searched the term 1099, independent, contractor, liability, and insurance. I found two jobs that asked for someone to be a 1099 independent contractor. You know what they were? Gate guarding. No WorkCamper jobs were listed that asked for you to be an independent contractor. And the gate guard jobs, that's a good subject, but we'll have to do that on another live stream because I run out of time. However, those are not all the WorkCamper jobs. Those 357, they're not all the WorkCamper jobs in this whole wide world WorkCamper job community. They're not. So I don't know where this guy's getting his information. I don't know what jobs he's seen that asked for him for a 1099. And like I said, they may be some campgrounds that require you to be a 1099 independent contractor. I just haven't seen them, and I probably wouldn't take that job. So the other comments that I want to share said this, which I thought was good information. I have worked at countless campgrounds and I have never received a 1099. You have to let them know that you are not an independent contractor. Another guy posted, for those of you that are responding, don't take the jobs. What this post is doing is helping others make a better informed decision about what jobs take. As a new work camper, I appreciate the insight and can now make a better decision on how I want to address the issue. Another guy says, here we go again. If you don't think it's fair, don't apply for the position. I think that makes sense, right? Move on to the next job. And this guy says, you don't have to take those jobs. When people stop taking the jobs, the owners will have to change their expectation. They'll stop asking for independent contractors. And they'll give you a free site plus pay and good hourly wage. Yeah, right. If you accept a work camper job as a 1099 independent contractor, maybe that's your thing, you may need to look at some kind of liability insurance or umbrella policy or something. But you got to do your research. If you're not wanting to do all that, don't take the 1099 job. That's simple, quick and easy. You don't need liability insurance. All right. I'm not an insurance professional. I'm just sharing information. You do your research and make your own decision. If you would like to follow the conversation, like I said, it's on Facebook group. It's a Facebook group. It's called Work Campers. You got to be a member. It's posted by a gentleman named Steve Willis. I think it was a really good post and a really good conversation. And if you want to go into all the details and see all the comments, you can go over there and check it out. Like I said before, I'll leave the link down below. I didn't do it yet. I'll do it after the live stream. You can click on it. It'll take you over there. You'll see it. And it starts off with, I want to talk about this stuff. All right. Call to action. If you've been in a situation as a 1099 independent contractor and you want to share something, leave a link down below, or excuse me, leave a comment down below and let me know. If you have something to add to the conversation, leave a comment as well. I'll appreciate it. And, everybody can look at that and maybe it'll help that conversation grow, because I think it's a good topic. It's good information to know. This is not a commercial for Advil. Advil did not sponsor this live stream, nor did they give me any money. If you feel bad about that, hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps. Every evening I take 2 Advil PMs to help me sleep. Last night I accidentally took 2 Viagra before I went to bed. I was up all night. If you enjoyed this story, click like down below and smash that subscribe button if you'd like to hear more stories like this one. New stories every week on Sunday, right here on this YouTube channel. And ring that bell. If you ring the bell, you'll get a notification every time I post a new story, because you don't want to miss one. Until later, thanks for your time. Bye.